Huntington's disease, Todd here. Hey, how to overcome a negative thought. I've actually kind of preaching to the choir here today. I've had to overcome my stinking thinking for the last, I don't know. Every now and then we get caught up in things, right? And they start going around and around in our head, and we just can't get them. We just can't get them out of our head. So this video today is very fitting because it'll be talking. I'm going to be, as they say, preaching to the choir because I need some of this stuff myself. So, how to overcome a negative thought. Sometimes, you can get those things rolling around in your head, and they're very hard to get rid of, especially when you have that Huntington's disease brain like we do. So, first off, I'm going to talk about a few points. I'm going to try to get through. You got to change your thinking, which that sounds kind of simple. You got to change your focus. You got to change your environment. You got to change your attitude. And finally, you got to find something else to occupy your brain with. Find something to praise, find some music, find something like that. So that's the topics. There's 5 points. I'm going to try to get through them in less than a month. So first off, I'm guilty. Everybody's guilty. We get caught in the negative thought every now and then that thing can start spiraling out of control in your brain. So how do you change a negative thought? First off, and even though this sounds a little bit simple, we got to change our thinking. We got to stop thinking about that thought, right? So that might mean we got to turn off the TV, get away from our computer, maybe get away from our cell phone, whatever it is. Maybe we have to, change our thinking from that thought to something else. I've been through a lot of those different seminars when I was younger, so I have a little bit of knowledge on this, I guess. I went, to sell seminars and for real estate and those kinds of things. So you got to change your stinking thinking. That was what one of the guys used to say. And in order to change our thinking, now, not everybody with Huntington's has as easy of a road doing this. So, but first off, you got to try to first things first, get that thought out of your brain. Start thinking about something different. So get our brain changed to something else. So that's one thing. And then focus on, something else. Like I said, we got to start focusing on, something else. Maybe focus on something that you're going to be able to do in the future. Focus on something that you might be able to do later on. Focus on an event that's coming up. Focus on the kids, the grandkids. Focus on your spouse. Focus on whatever it may be. So change our thinking, get out of that, get that thought out of your brain, and then start, maybe focusing on something that is, takes you out of the where you're at that moment. So that's the first two things. And then after that, you got to change your environment. I talk a lot about walking. I talk about exercise, and I have been guilty recently of not doing enough of that. So it's caused me to be a little bit more, I don't know, less pleasant. I guess that's the way you could say it. Again, the Huntington's brain can be very complicated, and I don't want to by any means simplify any of this, but sometimes when you do still have control of your brain, it's wise to try and get your thoughts onto something else. All of us are at different phases with Huntington's disease. Maybe some of us are early on with it. And if negative thoughts start reaching into your brain, you got to get them out so that you can start replacing them with something better. So again, I changed my environment. I went for a walk today, and that got me really focused on being able to do this morning. The blood cells, getting the blood pumping, getting the brain cells kicking in. It really, really matters if I do my walk. So that's how I do it. Maybe you can find whatever your thing is, and you need to do that. So change your environment, and then change your attitude. I heard a little clip the other day, and it was from Steve Harvey. And Steve Harvey said, if you have an attitude of gratitude, if you are grateful, it's hard to be ungrateful, right? If you start thinking about all the things that you could be grateful for. I know that with Huntington's disease, we could think about how terrible it is, because it is, and it's not good for anybody. Not good for family, not good for all of us. But we can be thankful for what we've got in life. We can be thankful for, what has, where we've gotten to this point in our lives. We can be thankful for and grateful for those kinds of accomplishments or whatever, in our lives. So be grateful for the things that you have, and don't think the negative thought that's bringing you down. So as we get to the end of this, what I do too is I change my, I change my thinking from my brain into something else. I start listening to music. Like I say, when I go for a walk, I put my headphones in. Sometimes there's some really great praise music on there. Sometimes there's just some old funky rock and roll, whatever it is. I listen to a whole bunch of different things, but those things, they might bring up a memory from when I was younger. They might bring up, a memory of, you know, a time that I had with my mother when we would go to church. But you got to change your, change your, turn your frown upside down, I guess you might say, but start praising God, praising for all the things that are good in the world and good in our lives. Yes, Huntington's disease is a very challenging subject. Somebody said your brain is deep, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on inside of our brains. But my goal today was just to say, hey, let's get out of that negative thinking, and how to get rid of that negative thought. And first off, you just got to change your thinking, change your focus, change your environment, change your attitude, and then start praising something different. Praise the Lord. Praise, through some music that you can listen to, things like that. So it's Huntington's disease, Todd, and go to my page and subscribe. All right. Have a good day.